Hi, my name is Frank Schaefer, and in the 1970s and 80s, I knew Jerry Falwell Sr., Pat Robertson, Ralph Reed, and all the other leaders of the religious right. I jumped out of that movement in my early 30s. I'm 67 now, and I'm a progressive activist and commentator and writer. My son graduated from high school while Bill Clinton was president and went to war in Afghanistan twice as a Marine, and then had a deployment to Iraq. I know what it is to sit at home while your flesh and blood are being shot at. That is the context of what I'm about to say, and it breaks my heart. Donald Trump, who I despise as a human being and a politician, and everything he stands for in the Republican Party, has done something that I didn't think I would be able to see. He has fallen lower than in my wildest dreams I would have imagined by selling out the Kurds and the Syriac Christians to Erdogan, Turkey's thug, who is crushing democracy in his own country. Trump has done this because he has business dealings in Turkey. He has sold the honor of the United States. He has done it out of whim and pique and anger. He has done it because he is an ignorant man. There is a supreme irony here, and that is that Ralph Reed, the shill for the far-right Republican Party right now, has just published a book saying it is the moral duty of every evangelical to support Trump in the 2020 elections. And I say it is the moral duty of any American to crush the Republican Party that has enabled this traitor to our values. Take a minute to think about the irony here. This man, who is both an Islamophobe and wanted to block all Muslims coming from any country to America, and was prevented from doing so by the courts, but still, that is his point of view, has done something that one would think no American president or any Western leader would ever contemplate doing. He has put his weight behind a Turkish strongman carrying on the process of the Islamic takeover of a Christian minority, the Syriac Christians, protected by the Kurds, who are our allies. This is the same president who whitewashed the slaughter and the dismemberment of the body of Khashoggi, an American-based journalist for the Washington Post, and poo-pooed it and said it was nothing, and now is sending American troops to Saudi Arabia, saying they will pay for this. But this president, and I remind you again, who was elected because of his xenophobia, his racism, his white nationalism by evangelical Christians who have high on their priority list stopping Islamic terrorism, Islamists from taking over more of the globe, and in their imagined delusions think all Muslims are bad, actually has jumped into bed with one of the worst Islamists on the planet right now, a man who has taken Turkey's democracy that Ataturk fought for while trying to bring democratic principles into Turkey and get rid of the control of the imams. He has rolled the clock back now, crushing political dissent, jailing or having killed thousands of teachers and professors and lawyers and cops and soldiers in the process. And now he is continuing the Islamist dream that Al-Qaeda and ISIS have prosecuted globally, and that is the expansion of Islamic caliphates. This is the same man, Erdogan, who let thousands of foreign fighters slip through Turkey with his support and full knowledge over years, bringing them into the ISIS strongholds. These strongholds will now be, quote, liberated by Turkish forces who will kill the Kurdish and Christian guards and allow these people to escape, re-entering the world as hardened terrorists, to carry out attacks in Europe, around the globe, and probably here in the United States. But here's the point. Donald Trump, the commander-in-chief, has also stabbed our military in the back, and as a proud father of a Marine, I can say, God damn you. My son wore that uniform, and one of the things he did near Kabul in Afghanistan was guard a girls' school against Islamic terrorists who have exactly the same worldview of Islamism as Erdogan. And instead of allowing ordinary, decent Muslims into this country who wanted to emigrate by the thousands, by the millions, the wonderful people of the Islamic world, most of whom are peace-loving, wonderful individuals, Trump has sided with a genuine Islamist sympathizer to terrorism globally who is in the pocket of Vladimir Putin. And the mullahs of Iran are sworn enemies. Israel has stood up against him, and he's supposed to be pro-Israeli. Some evangelical Christians with a little bit of backbone left, like Pat Robertson, have spoken out against him, as has, to my surprise but gratification, my old friend that I knew personally from the time I was 9, Franklin Graham, who normally speaks as a homophobic, anti-Islamic, fascist voice in this country, but even he has been shocked. But I say again, contemplate the irony, America. The president who made his name on Islamophobia has sided with a genuine Islamist terrorist sympathizer, Erdogan, who is crushing democracy and carrying on the 1,500-year tradition of Islamist conquest into areas of the Middle East by violence and force, now crushing and killing and murdering and raping Christians and Kurds. And the Kurds, by the way, are Muslims, but they're the kind of Muslims who have stood up to defend the Christian minority in their midst. The last group of 50,000 Christians left in the Middle East in that size of a block. Think about it, Christians. Think about it, evangelicals. Your man has betrayed your brothers and sisters in Christ who tonight are being raped and killed and shot. My name is Frank Schaefer.